Well, here we are, day 255 in our Route 66 journey through the Bible. Thanks for making it this far. Today, we're going to finish up with Ezekiel. Whoa, okay, Ezekiel, you got to admit, if you got through it, Ezekiel was a challenge. There's so many things in there that I don't quite grasp, but I think that's where prophecy has a little bit of mystery, and it's hard to be sure, but we read it, and there are some things we understand. And this is my recommendation to you, and this is how I read the Bible. As I read the Bible, there are some things in there that are very, very plain. And there's some things in there that I need to really listen to, because that's what. And then there's some things in there that I don't know about that. What does that mean? That seems a little bit strange. If I'm not careful, I will spend more time trying to figure out the things I don't understand than to do the things that I do understand. And there's plenty in the Bible that we're not going to quite understand it. But that's not what God is going to hold us accountable for. Do you realize that? Now, yes, we need to really study it and understand it. And I think the more we get into the Bible, the more it becomes a little bit more clear, But take the things you do understand and try to live that. If you live out what you do understand, maybe God will reveal to you some of the things right now that you don't understand. So let's get to some of the last three chapters here in the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 46, we've been talking about this temple that will be built in the future, the future temple one day in the millennium, is what I believe. But there's some worship regulations in chapter 46. The prince, which would be Jesus, and his people are given instructions on how to worship this on the Sabbaths and festivals, emphasizing obedience and reverence. Now, let me throw this out to you. Here is a speculation. Could it be that the prince will be David himself? Jesus being the king, could it be David would be part of that? Could be. We don't know. The Bible leaves some things open to speculation. I just think that would be interesting if it would be. But regardless, they're given some instructions on how to worship on the Sabbath and the different festivals that they'll have. And we'll still have some festivals, which would be great. Wouldn't it be good to have a festival with the old Jews of the old time, like David and Abraham and Noah and some of those people, and then with Paul and Timothy and all those people, and then people down through church history. It'd be great. Chapter 47, there is a river that flows from the temple. It brings life and healing wherever it goes. And the boundaries of the land is laid out there among the tribes. And so that's laid out there as well in chapter 47. And in chapter 48, some of the land portions are assigned. The city is named The Lord is There. And I think that's cool. The Lord's there. It's the Lord's land. It's Jesus's land, showing God's permanent presence with his people. So that's cool. So some lessons from the reading today as you finish up Ezekiel. Number one, God's presence brings life and healing. Like the river flowing, remember when Jesus was there? Jesus was there, people couldn't stay sick. Jesus is a healer. Number two, a good lesson. God is faithful to restore his people fully and give them their inheritance. God will restore his people. God will make everything right. And all things done for him and for good will be rewarded. And that's why the millennium lasts 1,000 years, to reward people. And a third lesson, the ultimate promise is that God's going to be with us. Isn't that what we look forward to? We look forward to being with God, to being with the people that we love, to be together forever. And that's how Ezekiel ends. So regardless of how you thought about the whole book, I am so glad it ends with us being with God and God's people forever. So